And with that short introduction, I welcome you back to a new project. Finally, I am playing Dragon Age Origins. That game has been on my radar for quite some while, but I never came around to play it. Or at least not extensively. Guess I did tutorial or something once or twice, but yeah, not much more beyond that. So I am playing it on 1080p because on the 4K monitor without UI scaling, things are hard to read. I mean, everything is a quarter of the size you see it now. That's why I have to play it like that also. Yes, I can open the Steam thing and click it away. Hope it didn't record that. Shouldn't, when I am in game capture, it shouldn't record these overlay kind of things. So yeah, I started the game to test the recording, of course, but let's jump in and start a new game. Also, I'm playing this from Steam version. It is made by BioWare and published by Electronic Arts in 2009, as you can see here. And it is an RPG, of course. And so is the Golden City blackened with each step you take in my hall. Marvel at perfection, for it is fleeting. You have brought sin to heaven and doom upon all the world. Canticle of Threnodis, 8:13.
The chantry teaches us that it is the hubris of men which brought the Darkspawn into our world. The mages had sought to usurp heaven, but instead, they destroyed it. They were cast out, twisted and cursed by their own corruption. They returned as monsters, the first of the Darkspawn. They became a blight upon the lands, unstoppable and relentless. The Dwarven kingdoms were the first to fall, and from the deep roads, the Darkspawn drove at us again and again, until finally we neared annihilation.
Nice golem things they have.
Until the Grey Wardens came. Men and women from every race, warriors and mages, barbarians and kings. The Grey Wardens sacrificed everything to stem the tide of darkness, and prevailed. It has been 4 centuries since that victory, and we have kept our vigil. We have watched and waited for the Darkspawn to return. But those who once called us heroes have forgotten. We are few now, and our warnings have been ignored for too long. seen with my own eyes what lies on the horizon. Maker, help us all.
Okay, interesting. So the Grey Wardens were too effective at their job, so everyone forgot the threat. That was the Grey Spawn? What was they called? The background you select will determine which of 6 distinct opening stories you play through. It also affects how characters respond to you throughout the game. Okay, so we have races. Well, first we have gender. I will take the male ethnicity dude. Then we have races. Human, the most numerous yet the most divided of all the races. Only 4 times have they ever united under a single cause, the last being centuries ago. Religion and the chantry play a large part in human society. It distinguishes them culturally from elves and dwarves more than anything else. Humans can be warriors, rogues, or mages. Racial benefits: +1 strength, +1 dexterity, +1 magic, +1 cunning. So I guess they just have a bit of everything. Elf. Once enslaved by humans, most elves have all but lost their culture, scrounging and impoverished living on the slums of human cities. Only the nomadic Dalish tribes still cling to their traditions, living by the bow and the rule of their old gods as they roam the ancient forests. Welcome nowhere else, elves can be warriors, rogues, or mages. So here we get 2 willpower and 2 magic. I have no idea what these things mean. I guess magic increases your potency of magic spells. Willpower perhaps increases... I think it's probably a D&D-like thing, so willpower would improve the rolls you get. Saving throw things. Not sure. What do we have? Strength, pretty obvious. Dexterity, probably for bows and the like. Or dual wielding, stuff like that. Magic, yeah. Cunning, perhaps for stealth and the like. So the dwarf, rigidly bound by caste and tradition. The dwarves have been waging a losing war for generations, trying to protect the last stronghold of their once vast underground empire from the Darkspawn. Dwarves are very tough and have high resistance to all forms of magic, thus preventing them from becoming mages. Okay, so they have strength, dex, constitution, which probably is health, and 10% chance to resist hostile magic. That doesn't exactly sound bad. So the rogue are skilled adventurers who come from all walks of life. All rogues possess some skill in picking locks and spotting traps, making them valuable assets to any party. Tactically, they are not ideal frontline fighters, but if rogues can circle around behind their target, they can backstab to devastating effect. Rogue specializations are Ranger, Bard, Duelist, and Assassin. Ranger, Bard, Duelist, and Assassin. So the Ranger will probably be the bow guy. Class benefits: 4 dexterity, 2 willpower, 4 cunning. So you probably want to race with these boni to go into the rogue, to get a strong rogue. Anyways, mage. Oh, so just the dwarves cannot do magic. Magi. Wielding a power as dangerous as it is potent, you know that magic is a curse for those lacking the will to control it. You anxiously await your harrowing, the one chance to prove yourself against the demons. Wait. That was the wrong one. As dangerous as it is potent, magic is a curse for those lacking the will to wield it. Malevolent spirits that wish to enter the world of the living are drawn to mages like beacons, putting the mage and everyone nearby in constant danger. Because of this, mages lead lives of isolation, locked away from the world they threaten. Specializations include Spirit Healer, healer, Shapeshifter, Arcane Warrior, and Blood Mage. +5 magic, +4 willpower, +1 cunning. And then we have the warrior. Warriors are powerful fighters, focusing on melee and ranged weapons to deal with their foes. They can withstand and deliver a great deal of punishment and have strong understanding of tactics and strategy. Specializations for the warrior include Berserker, Templar, Champion, and Reaver. 4 strength, 3 dexterity, 3 constitution. So that sounds like the sacrifice yourself to deal damage kind of guy. Templar probably the protect everyone kind of guy. Champion, I don't know, two-handed weapons perhaps. And the Reaver, I don't know, backstabbing or a bit of magic mixed in. Not sure. So let's go over the backgrounds as well to choose which ones to do. Dalish Elf, proud of your role as one of the few true elves, you have always assumed you would spend your life with your tribe until a chance encounter with a relic of your people's past threatens to tear you away from everything you have ever known. Then we also have the City Elf. You have always lived under the heavy thumb of your human overlords. But when a local lord claiming his privilege with the bride shatters your wedding day, the shimmering racial tensions explode in a rain of vengeance. Okay. The privilege with the bride. Interesting. What do we have down there? So here we have human noble. Born to wealth and power, second only to royalty, you find your training in both diplomacy and battle put to the test as your brother leads the bulk of your family's forces to war in the south. The mage, wielding a power as dangerous as it is potent, you know that magic is a curse for those lacking the will to control it. You anxiously await your harrowing, the one chance to prove yourself against the demons lurking without and within. Succeed or be slaughtered by the knights who warred against your kind. Okay, and that's the same background there again. That's the mage again, that's the same backgrounds. Yeah, that's the last two. So, Dwarf Commoner. Born casteless in a land where rank is everything, bound as the lackey and thug of a local crime lord, you have spent your life invisible, until chance thrusts you in the spotlight, where you can finally prove whether you will be defined by your actions or your birth. And Dwarf Noble. As the favored child of the Dwarven King, you proudly take up your first military command, only to learn that the deadly intrigues of family and sycophants may pose greater danger than even the battlefield. Interesting choices. So, I'm either thinking of going archer, or thinking of going some kind of tanky melee dude right now. Guess we could. I'm ruling out the mage for now, although mage probably is also fun. Not sure. Let's see if we take the dwarf as a warrior. Let's see what we get as
Greetings.
Guess I can just press next. Yeah, so I just want to play around right now because here, yeah, the skills that you get as a warrior. Coercion requires 10 cunning. The character is influential enough to convince others to change their views. Strength contributes to a more intimidating character, whereas cunning contributes to a more persuasive character. Okay, so probably that sounds like a skill that all the main characters can learn to gain better benefits in conversations. So, stealing. Range personal, activation 0, cooldown 10 seconds. The character is quick enough to pilfer small items from others, whether friendly or hostile, so long as they are not too alert. The character is a world-class thief, able to distract and mislead the poor mark even during combat. Okay. Then trap making. The character has learned to construct basic traps and lures of common components. Is that really the warrior? Survival. The character can detect the presence of nearby creatures below the character's own level. This skill also grants a small bonus to nature resistance. Okay, so that's trap detection, that's enemy detection, plus some resistances. Then herbalism. The character can make simple potions, poultices and salves from common herbs. And just 4th tier potions and salves and herbs. Poison making. Character has survived the difficult learning process of making simple poisons and grenades. And here 4th tier poisons and grenades, that's okay. Combat training. Perhaps we just start at a different thing. Combat training. Passive. Those are activated. The character has completed basic combat training. Warriors and rogues gain access to 1st tier weapon talents. Mages can take more damage from an attack before it interrupts their spell casting. Warriors and rogues gain access to 2nd tier, as well as bonus to stamina regeneration. Mages can take more damage before it interrupts their spell casting and gain a bonus to mana regeneration. Gain a small bonus to attack. And yep. And the last tier will just give small bonus to armor and attack. Yeah, okay. So basically, general combat effectiveness, invest in that. And combat tactics. The character can formulate strategies quickly in battle and consequently gains a combat tactics slot. It's Master Tactician, able to plan for any eventuality and consequently gains 2 additional combat tactician slots. I don't see a difference in these two. So here it's 1, 1, 2, 2. Yeah, I don't know what these are good for. And I don't know what the tactician slot will do. But I think the game is a party-based game, so you probably want one character well, you want to split up these skills to multiple characters, so you have different specialists. Because I don't think you will get a lot of these skill points just by going forward. I just want to see what we get here. Yeah, okay, so here we are at the talents for warrior. We get powerful. Through training and hard work, the warrior has gained greater health and reduced the fatigue penalty for wearing armor. Okay, threaten mode, which means you deal more threat, so tank mode. Bravery, the warrior's unwavering courage grants bonus to damage, physical resistance and mental resistance. And death blow, each time the warrior fells an enemy, the end of the battle seems closer at hand, restoring a portion of the warrior's stamina. Interesting. Precise striking. Tries to make each attack count, sacrificing attack speed for a bonus to attacks as well as an increased chance to score critical hits for as long as this mode is active. Taunt. A mocking bellow catches the attention of nearby foes, increasing their hostility. Yeah, okay. Disengaged. So the opposite of Taunt. And Perfect Striking, gaining attack bonus for a moderate time. Then we have dual weapon training, dual weapon finesse, just dual weapon stuff, dual striking, and dual weapon sweep. Then we have archery, melee archer, fire without interruption even when being attacked. I see. The archer carefully, is that passive? Yeah. The archer carefully places each shot for maximum effect. While in this mode, this decreases the rate of fire background's bonus to attack, damage, armor penetration, and critical chance. Okay, so here we get a couple defensive things like the close quarter thing and bonus defense and the like. I just wonder if only the first two rows are specific to warriors, or if all those are specific to the warriors, so the rogues would get something more offensive here. Suppressing fire, scatter shot, weapon and shield, two-handed, so that's just the weapon choices we can have. Okay, let's go back and see what the rogue has to add to the equation. So just add something here. But that's the same as I thought. And here, rogue, archery, melee archer, aim, defensive fire, master archer. So I think those are the same. So it's really just down to which weapons can you equip with each class. I mean, I could also go for a two-handed kind of melee character. One that just deals massive amounts of damage but isn't too strong. But here we get a lot more rogue abilities than the fighter has. So I guess warrior will really specialize on their weapons because they don't have so much here in the warrior tab to spend. Yeah, so we have dirty fighting. Incapacitates a target but doesn't deal damage. Then wider flanking angle. Oh, there's flanking in the game. Okay. Coup de grâce. When the target is incapacitated, which we deal with that, the opportunistic rogue strikes where it hurts the most, inflicting automatic backstabs against stunned or paralyzed targets. I see. So you get critical backstab and yeah, critical backstabs from that, and paralyze probably can be inflicted by mages. And feign death, so dropping threat basically. Below the belt, the rogue delivers a swift and unsportsmanlike kick to the target. Okay. Dealing normal combat damage as well as imposing penalties to defense and movement speed unless the target passes a physical resistance check. So yeah, there's these checks. So it is D&D style combat. Swift strike, dealing damage. Keen eye for weak spots and gain a bonus to critical chance. Evasion. So far I don't see a lot. Well, range personal, yeah, that's the problem. I don't see anything that can be used for an archer. Nothing that really benefits an archer so far. Deft hands. All rogues have some understanding of opening locks and spotting traps, but particular dexterous hands and a steady grip give the character bonus when picking locks or disarming traps. The character's cunning score also contributes to these skills. Okay, so you get adept at lockpicking. I mean, that's also that's a huge advantage, because you will get more loot and thus better equipment for the group. That's one of the things I would say could lead to me taking the rogue. And stealth, the rogue has learned to fade from view, although perceptive enemies may not be fooled. Taking any action beyond movement, including engaging in combat or using items, will still attract attention. If the rogue initiates combat while still stealthed, the first strike is an automatic critical hit or backstab. Okay. And just better stealth. Okay. But just for completeness sake, let's go through the Magi.
Greetings.
Next, just something, come on, next. Just pick something, nothing new around here, right? But we start off with different things, but perhaps that's also because I choose the elf right now. Okay, mage does have not so many skills for the mage itself, but has a lot of spells. Okay, no weapons though, kind of, yeah. Caster fires a sphere of magical energy at an enemy, dealing moderate spirit damage. Generates protective sheath, thus helps divert incoming attacks, gaining a bonus to defense while in this mode. Specialized in direct attacks using the staff, gaining a permanent bonus to damage. And granting a permanent bonus to spell power. Now that doesn't sound too bad. Then we have these flames, we have flame skills, yeah, okay, various flame skills, also flaming weapons, buffing allies then, basically. Rock things, which are probably defensive focused. Then ice magic, frost weapons, cone of cold, blizzard, lightning, shock, tempest, chain lightning, so that's probably a very offensive kind of magic as well. The fire probably is also kind of offensive. Then creation, so we can go into the healing stuff. Healing and buffing and glyph. What does a glyph do? The caster inscribes a glyph on the ground. Oh, so a glyph on the ground. So you have some area manipulation things. Okay. Spell wisp. Summon a wisp. Summon a slick. Energizing bloom of magic. That gives okay, so that's just summoning things that gain bonus to enemies or friendlies, depending on who is standing right beside the thing. Then spirit, spell shield, dispel magic, anti-magic, mana drain, mana cleanse, spell might, mana clash, walking bomb, death siphon, virulent, animate dead, so you can do some summoning kind of mage. Entropy, weakness, miasma, paralyze, mass paralysis, and so on and so forth. Yeah, lots of things, but I really kind of don't want to go into the mage.
Greetings.
So it comes down to the warrior with a bow. or the rogue with a bow? I think if I take the warrior, I will still have some things open, right? What does a warrior give? Strength and dexterity versus a bit more dexterity and cunning, willpower and cunning. Yeah, I don't know. Constitution is also kind of nice. Let's look at the... Let's just look at the skills once more for the warrior. Okay, so powerful. Just more health and less fatigue for wearing armor, so you can have a higher armor going, thus dying less quickly. So the threaten thing probably not very useful for an archer. Bonus to damage, physical resistance and mental resistance. And a bonus to critical chance that increases proportionally to the number of enemies above 2 that the warrior is engaging. Okay, so if you have more than 2 enemies against you, you get more critical chance. And here we can have the warrior regenerate stamina if he kills someone. Precise striking is a melee range thing, which costs upkeep. Okay, I see. Taunt, not useful. Disengage, that's useful for an archer. And perfect striking. Gaining a massive attack bonus for a moderate time. Guess that could be interesting. So you have a couple options, and more importantly to me, we also have the option to go into archery. But if an enemy comes close, we have the option to go into another weapon type apart from dual weapons. So I think I'll go with the warrior.
Greetings.
So now it's just a question of which background do I want to take. I mean, the human noble thing, that sounds kind of not so interesting to me. The elf that is in the woods, a relic of the past that threatens to tear you away. Yeah. And then here we are marrying, and some nobleman is interrupting, and here we have just a crime lord kind of guy. And as a dwarf noble, you get a military command to learn of deadly intrigues of family and sycophants. Well, that sounds interesting, more interesting than the... What's here? Born to wealth and power, you find training in both diplomacy and battle put to test as your brother leads the bulk of your family's forces. Yeah, I don't know, just some test. Let's look at the bonus for humans. Strength, dexterity, magic and cunning. Strength, dexterity, constitution. And chance to resist. Here we get strength. Wow, 4 strength. That's not bad. No, that's from that's from the class. Yeah, 1 strength, 1 dex, 2 constitution, 2 willpower, 2 magic. Yeah, I think the elves probably they don't even get too many, unless I'm understanding it wrongly. They don't get too many stats that are benefiting an archer, although they are living by the bow, right? Although, is willpower like causing critical hits? If that's the thing, then yeah, maybe. But I mean, 1 strength, 1 dex and 2 constitution seems, and 10% chance to resist magic. That sounds a lot better, as does 1 strength, 1 dex, 1 magic and 1 cunning. Guess I'll go with the dwarf. So dwarf warrior. Now let's see what we will take. Where you can finally prove whether you will be defined by your actions or your birth. I think I'll take the dwarf commoner. Because the noble thing also sounds a bit boring, like... Yeah, I mean, the intrigue sounds interesting. But apart from that, I think the crime thing where you can define by actions or birth, that sounds interesting. So I'd say we go with that.
Greetings.
Now what do we have as a preset? Okay. Of those I like the first one the best. Let's see if we can change it a bit. Ah, I see. Yeah, let's... Probably that one. Skin tone. Okay, so we can have a black dwarf or a white dwarf. Let's go somewhere in the middle, like that. Then tattoos. What was that tattoo? That's no tattoo, that's an S or something. I like that crown-like thing here. Let's just roll with that. Tattoo color. Is there some kind of bluish? Yeah, I guess we'll go with that kind of bluish one here. That one. And then we have the intensity, we can make it a bit more washed out. Yeah, I think if we go with a tattoo, it should be strong. Okay, then hair. Basic hair. Well, interesting choices here. Guess we'll go in that area here. What's the difference between that and that? Just a bit more hair on the sides. Yeah. Let's take that one for now. Then beard. What do we get as beard options? No beard is no option. Not on a dwarf. Okay, that's too clean. No, that's so... well, yeah, well... confused by the interface. Guess something like that. Yep, let's take that. Then eyebrows. Can't even see them, so that's okay. Stubble, don't need that because... yeah, that's... we have a beard covering it. And then we have the color. Ah, there we go. That makes things... is there also hair color? Ah, there we go. So let's go with some orange... orange-ish color. Yeah, that's okay. Then the eyes... I don't know. What colors do we have available? Don't really care. Let's go with that grayish tone. That's okay. Nose, yeah, let's leave it at that. I tend to just destroy characters by using the sliders too much. Neck and ears. Yeah, that's okay. Portrait. Oh, we can. I see. Interesting. Can adjust portrait. Nice. Can choose the background. That blue looks cool with that blue to greenish thing. Purple also not bad. Ooh. Interesting. So that's a nice one. That's nice. Let's go with... Nah, it doesn't really match the color. Let's take that one. And there's an expression. Okay, interesting. Good. The voice.
I have lost concentration. I should do something else.
Okay, wise voice.
How do you do? Damn. Not even a scratch?
That doesn't fit the dwarf.
Scoot!
No.
Greetings.
No, that's not a dwarf voice.
Greetings.
I cannot cast it. It is unharmed. Excuse me.
Charmed, I'm sure. Ah! There with the spell! This weapon does nothing. Move aside, please.
Greetings. My spell. This isn't working.
You call
Need something else.
this violent?
Greetings.
Guess we'll go with the wise.
I have lost concentration. I must try another tactic.
Yeah, wise. Most definitely. We'll take a needy, of course. A needy Broska, apparently. Let's go next. So we have 15 strength already, and 14 dexterity, and 15 in constitution. So get... there we go. Strength measures a character's physical prowess and directly affects the damage a character deals in physical combat. It also contributes to the accuracy of melee attacks. High strength is essential for warriors, in particular if they wish to wield two-handed weapons, and is nearly as critical for rogues. Yeah, okay. Dexterity is the measure of agility, reflexes, and balance. Higher dexterity improves a character's chances to hit, makes the character more likely to dodge incoming blows, and contributes to the damage dealt by piercing weapons like daggers or arrows. Okay, so... affects the damage a character deals in physical combat. Is an arrow not also a physical combat situation? Contribute to the damage of piercing weapons like daggers or arrows. Archery and dual weapon fighting styles demand high dexterity to master, making this attribute a favorite for rogues. Okay, I guess we'll go into dexterity a bit more. Strength, I don't know, perhaps I'll lower strength. I can't lower the things. In some games you can lower the stats somewhat to gain more points for other stats. But let's see, willpower represents a character's determination and mental fortitude. With high willpower, mages can cast more spells thanks to a deeper mana pool. For warriors and rogues, willpower grants more stamina for combat techniques and special attacks. Okay, so basically that determines the amount of mana you have. Magic is the measure of a character's natural affinity to the arcane. This attribute is crucial for mages since it directly increases a character's spell power score, which determines the potency of all spells. The magic attribute also determines how effective potions, poultices and salves are for all classes. Cunning determines how well a character learns and reasons. Most skills, such as herbalism or combat tactics, require a quick mind to master, and an observant eye can more easily find weaknesses in enemy armor. Rogues benefit most from this statistic, as many of their class abilities and special attacks rely on subtlety or reading the target, not raw strength. Okay, I think I'll have to go into cunning a bit. Constitution represents health and resilience. Higher constitution directly increases the amount of damage a character can take before falling on the battlefield. Alright, so here I think we'll go... Oh, I'm also interested. Okay, so you always spend 1 point. There's also some games where you, if you go over a threshold like 18, it would cost 2 points suddenly. But yeah, well, stay at 15 strength, go to 16 dexterity, I think, and put the rest into cunning. I think. Perhaps I will go into willpower for a bit. Well, first I'll have to see how willpower affects the character before I invest more into it. Yeah, I guess let's roll with that. Magic, probably going to ignore that throughout the whole thing, although effectiveness of potions and so on. Yeah, well, perhaps. Okay, so these are determined by... perhaps by the background, stealing, because I am in this organized crime background. So coercion for 10 cunning, 16 cunning for those two. Here we just have a level requirement for the traps. Survival requires cunning, herbalism just a level. Poison making just a level, and combat training. I mean, we already have 1 in combat training. The second upgrade would allow second tier weapon talents to be gotten. I think until we are at that point I can safely just get something else. And I'm kind of inclined to take the coercion, so I get different options to take when talking to people. And strength gives intimidation, and cunning gives persuasion. So I think I'll probably stay at the level of strength that I have currently for a bit, and up the cunning as well as dexterity first. Yeah, okay. Then warrior, points to spend 2. The warrior gains greater health and reduced fatigue penalty for wearing armor. That sounds good. Precise striking, well, yeah, disengage may be okay at some point. It requires 18 dexterity though. And perfect striking is still a long way off. Death blow also a long way off. Bravery and threaten well, bravery may be worth it, but threaten not so much. First we'll go into archery. What do we have here? Dual weapon sweep. Character sweeps both weapons in a broad forward arc. Okay, weapon and shield, two-handed. Well, the one thing I know I want to take is the bow. So I think I'll take... Well, that one sounds interesting because it's passive and we can fire without interruption. So if an enemy gets close, I can still fire off a shot if I see one shot will be enough to down them, so I don't have to switch weapons around all the time. Pinning shot. A shot to the target's legs disables the foe, pinning the target in place unless it passes something. Yeah, that's, I don't know, crippling. Carefully aimed shot hampers the target's ability to fight by reducing attack and defense if it hits. Okay. Critical shot. Finding a chink in the target's defenses, the archer fires an arrow that, if aimed correctly, automatically scores a critical hit and gains a bonus to armor penetration. The Master Archer talent increases the armor penetration bonus. And the archer generates an automatic critical hit if this shot finds its target. Although high-level targets may be able to ignore the effect, the archer suffers reduced stamina regeneration for a time. Master Archer adds an extra attack bonus. Ah, so that Master Archer is up here. Yeah, okay, so that's sustained things. That's just more or less a passive tree here, making the archery a lot better. Deadly with both bows and crossbows. Master Archers receive additional benefits when using aim, defensive fire, crippling shot, critical shot, arrow of slaying, rapid shot, and shattering shot. This talent also eliminates the penalty to attack speed when wearing heavy armor. Oh. Although massive armor still carries the penalty. Okay, so you can wear heavy armor whilst wielding a bow, making you probably pretty tanky. But massive armor cannot be carried. Okay. Interesting. Rapid shot. Speed wins out over power while this mode is active, as the archer fires more rapidly but without any chance of inflicting regular critical hits. Master Archer increases the rate of fire further still. Okay. Shattering shot. The archer fires a shot designed to open a weak spot in the target's armor. The shot deals normal damage if it hits and imposes an armor penalty on the target. Master Archer increases the target's armor penalty. Suppression fire. When this mode is active, the archer's shot hamper foes. Each arrow deals regular damage and also encumbers the target with a temporary penalty to attack. This penalty can be applied multiple times. Okay, so I kind of like the lower line here and the upper line. So you can be an archer that debuffs enemies. And scattershot. The archer fires a single arrow that automatically hits stunning the target and dealing normal damage. The arrow then shatters, hitting all nearby enemies with the same effect. Yeah, so here you can stun, debuff attack, and debuff armor. So that's kind of neat. And here you just get massive damage skills, I guess. But I'd say I go with the upper and lower things for now. Although, let's go with powerful first. Yeah. So that's a bonus we get with melee weapons as well. So should I use melee weapons a lot during the tutorial, which we probably will, I at least have something that will benefit us. So now here, I hope the game doesn't crash. During my test recordings I had the game crash on me once when I started, when I just pressed play, but I hope it won't. I guess, can I save that somehow? No. Alright. Now I have to do everything again. So we got 2 into that and 3 into that, I think. And here we got that one, and this, and this. Yep, okay, let's play on, guess, normal difficulty. The setting is best suited to players who are new to role-playing games or expect to play combat in real time, rather than pausing often to plan tactics. Ah yeah, that's a thing with Dragon Age Origins, right? You get to plan out your moves in pausing. So they recommend easy for you to just play in real time. At this setting, party members are immune to friendly fire and will heal easily, while enemies inflict less damage than normal. In normal setting, this is the recommended setting for players familiar with role-playing games, providing a good balance of challenge and survivability. It requires moderate use of tactical pausing to plan actions during combat, although party members can harm each other with careless use of certain abilities. Damage due to friendly fire is only half of what it would be against enemies. Okay, interesting. So friendly fire is a thing. That's something to keep in mind. At hard, this setting provides a considerably greater challenge than normal difficulty. To prevail against the more aggressive enemy, AI, you will need to make sophisticated use of tactical pausing as well as clever combinations of spells and talents. Friendly fire damage is no longer scaled down, and your party will not heal as easily. Enemies will inflict more damage, be encumbered by status effects for shorter durations, and demonstrate greater resistance to various damage types. Alright, so friendly fire deals the same damage to your guys as well as the others. Or well, deals just the same amount to your guys as it would to the enemy. And the enemy will just generally be stronger. I see. Nightmare. This setting is intended for tactical geniuses who found hard difficulty too easy. Interesting. But yeah, we'll go normal. Because with normal perhaps I can use the tactical view a bit less. And now let's pray the game doesn't crash. So far so good.
Deep beneath the Frostback Mountains sits Orzammar, largest and proudest of the two remaining dwarven cities. Once the seat of an underground empire, Orzammar now stands alone, cut off from the world by the Darkspawn, still clinging to the memory of its former glory. Below the vast statues and gilded halls where the noble families play at politics, the lower castes live in their shadows, scurrying to serve like their ancestors before them. Below that is you. You are casteless, the dirty secret staining Orzammar's perfect society, forced, along with your sister, to sell your services to the crime lord Barat. To the rest of Orzammar, you are proof that the casteless deserve their fate. But you know you do what you have to, the same as everyone, just to survive.
I can't keep gambling on you forever, Precious. You've got a sweet look, something to light a man on fire. But you gotta make it count.
Please, Barat, can we not do this in front of my brother?
Why not? He knows the slope of the land, don't you, boy?
Okay, that's an interesting start. He's right, whatever it takes to get out of this cesspool. Didn't I tell you not to talk that way to my sister? We owe you everything, Barat. We won't let you down. Don't worry, she'll find a man or she'll answer to me. She'll find a man? I'm a bit at a loss. What's happening?
You told me a lot of things, not one of which meant more than a fart in a mittens. Before me, your sister was just another duster. Now check her out. Braids down to here, gold cap teeth. She can recite elf poetry and play the string harp. Every man's dream. All she's gotta do is find a lord, squeeze out some kid who looks like him, and we're all living the easy life in the Diamond Quarter.
Please, don't get involved. You know that never goes well.
Alright, I see. So they want to get money by marriage. And also I just saw that whatever I choose, my character will not speak out a line. Not like in Mass Effect, for example. So, he's right, whatever it takes to get out of this cesspool. I don't like to see him treating you that way. How much more does he think you can do? I don't like to see him treating you that way.
I'll treat her however I like, as long as you both eat off my plate. You keep your head down and say aye to any job I decide is low enough for scum like you. In return, I put out coins so you can doll yourself up and get a belly full of some nobleman's brats. Then you both go free. And I get to join the family and be called my lord for the rest of the little prince's life.
Okay. So what are you doing here? And her son will call you uncle and come visit on name days. We've kept our part of the deal. Yeah, let's take that.
Well, unless I start seeing results, we're going to renegotiate. I'm giving you another week, Precious. If you haven't found a patron, you're back to sweeping streets.
But I have. I've met someone. That is, I didn't want to promise, but he seemed interested.
So get off her back and tell me my job for today. See, she's found someone. I told you it's deliver. Watch yourself, Berat. We may not need you pretty soon. That's a bit too aggressive. I'll take, so get off her back and tell me my job for today.
Your buddy Lesky's waiting outside. He knows what I'll need from you today. Don't even think about bungling this job. Your whole family's on loose sand with me right now. And I know you don't have anywhere else to turn.
I'm sorry you had to see
that. Berat expects too much from you. You don't have to hide anything from me, Rika. I've seen it before and I'll see it again. I can't stand the way he treats us. Either 2 or 4. Let's go with 2. You don't have to hide anything from me, Rika.
I know. You've always been a good brother. Always tried to protect me. I should have told you. Barat's been warning me ever since 2 of his other girls found patrons at Lord Harrowmont's reception. They've been getting gifts already. Lord Rooston gave Elsie a surface silk gown and she's not even pregnant. Barat's getting impatient.
Berat expects too much from you. Isn't the work I do for Berat enough? I just wish we didn't have to kiss up to that cave tick. I want you to stop working for him. Isn't the work I do enough?
You've worked hard to keep him from throwing us out. I can only imagine the horrible things he's made you do. But there are a lot of desperate dwarves in Orzammar. He could buy any one of them to run messages and knock skulls.
Berat expects too much from you. I just wish we didn't have to kiss up to that cave tick. It's not fair that Berat gets to push us around. I don't know why I can't join the army and fight Darkspawn. I need to get going before Berat comes back. Goodbye. I don't know why I can't join the army and find Darkspawn.
It's sheer folly. One more way the nobles protect their status. They say casteless soldiers are more danger to each other than to Darkspawn. That it's an insult to the smith to let us touch a fine-made weapon. Truly, they just don't wish to insult the warrior caste by showing that given the same opportunities, we could lead an army just as well.
Alright, I need to get going before Berat comes back. Goodbye. But haven't the Darkspawn almost overrun the current troops? They know we'd turn our weapon on them if we had any. They'd rather we all be killed than admit they're wrong. Let's go with they'd rather we all... Nah, let's go with but haven't the Darkspawn almost overrun the current troops?
Every year, more of the beasts come up from the deep roads. I've heard they've even been harrying the surface.
Okay. I need to get going. Is anyone doing anything about it? The Darkspawn are not likely to touch us here. Is anyone doing anything?
They would even turn to humans for aid before us, it seems. There's been talk of an alliance against the Darkspawn. Even that the Grey Wardens have stepped up. But we don't have time for this now. Lesky must be waiting, and Barat won't like it if I'm late for my appointment.
You're right. Goodbye.
Stay out of trouble. I'll see you tonight.
Alright. Tutorial, tactical view. The game can be played from a variety of tactical viewpoints. Use the mouse wheel to bring your camera down to exploration mode. Scroll forward. While paused, you can issue orders to your character. Right-click on your desired destination. Your character now has a move order. You can issue orders in real time or while paused. Press space to unpause now. Okay. So we can move around. We have a chest and a lot of codex things going on. Well, what I'd say, that's that for today. Took quite a while to create the character, to be honest. But yes, thanks a lot for watching. Hope you've enjoyed and hope to see you next time when we get the game started for real. Kicking off the tutorial. Have a great day and bye!